Right, come on into Sister's office. It's free now, and we'll be able to get your preliminary interview done, hopefully, because we have a little bit of time now. So how did you get on this morning? You've seen all the wards and some of the patients.
Yeah, and the sister, the clinic nurse manager, brought me around and showed me, you know, where everything was, and everybody's been so helpful.
Great.
Everybody's so friendly. It's like feel very welcome here.
Good. We'll do your preliminary interview now, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Have you got all your documentation
I have
with you?
here,
Great.
Yeah.
What have you got
So
there?
I've got the learning plan.
Oh, lovely. Great.
And the car.
Great. Lovely. And what else have you got there? Have you anything
And my
else?
timesheet.
Your timesheet.
And the
lovely.
skills sheet.
Oh, your skills list.
record,
Very
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that out as well.
Yeah.
So you have everything there, really. Now, just remind me again, you're a
Third year.
third
The
year.
beginning of third year.
The beginning of third year, grand. So what experience have you had up to now?
Up to now,
Where have you been?
I've been out on my specialist placements. So I was with
Right.
the public health nurse, and I did my psychiatry placement, and I was with the maternity in the
very
Rotunda
good.
Hospital.
Yeah,
It was
yeah. Lovely, yeah,
placement.
enjoyed that.
And then I was an outpatient, so I haven't really been on the wards.
Right. What about first year?
First
Were
year
you-
I did a surgical placement
Oh,
and a
right.
medical placement.
Oh, very good. What medical placement
Medical
did you do?
2.
Oh, medical 2 here. And as you know, medical 2 is more,
It's more cardiology.
cardiology, exactly. And as you know from this morning, we're more respiratory.
Yeah, I've got the
in
feed
this
from the
ward.
report.
Exactly, exactly. Great. So you have a bit of knowledge there and skills. So we'll go for your learning plan here. So the first part of it here now is learning objectives for further development from previous placements, if relevant. So do you have anything that you want to put down there?
I do, because I never actually achieved a catheterisation, a urinary catheterisation.
Oh, right,
And I'd
okay.
like to achieve that. On
Oh,
this
that shouldn't be a
placement.
problem. Is that on your skills list now as well?
It is.
Right.
I haven't practiced it.
You haven't
No.
practiced that. That's no problem, because in this ward, in fairness, we'd have a lot of female urinary catheterisation going on. Now, you'll have to use your initiative as well, because we will be working closely together when we're on. But if there's a catheterisation going on in another part of the ward, to link in with the nurse that's working there and say that you would like to get this skill. And that skill, is that in your
It is in the
skills
skills, but I haven't
list?
actually signed it off.
Okay, grand. So again, to look at your skills list and to see what skills you need, signing off there as well. Now, the next part here is your learning objectives or outcomes for this placement. What will I learn on this placement, and what time frame will these objectives or outcomes be achieved? So you've received your learning objectives from your CPC
I got them
this
from
morning,
CPC,
isn't that right,
I
with
did
your
indeed,
orientation?
I
So
would
what-
like to learn something about cystic fibrosis.
Yes.
Because I've never nursed, don't know really anything about cystic fibrosis.
Okay,
Chronic obstructive airways disease
right, yeah, absolutely.
and pneumonias, chest
Yeah.
infections, that
Yeah.
area.
Great. So there's a lot of people that is the respiratory ward, and
Yeah.
those type of patients
Yeah.
will be here as well. We also have a lot of patients with TB.
That's
As well.
another big area.
Exactly, it really is. And for that, I would like you to also look at our policy on infection control.
Okay.
Is that okay? Because obviously there's a lot of barrier nursing
Yeah.
going on with TB patients, and it's very popular. What else would you like to put down for your placement? You're here for 4 weeks, so I suppose it is realistic maybe to learn a conditioner a week, or at least 3 conditions in your 4-week placement, including your hygiene
be
policy.
achievable.
I think that's very achievable. With these conditions as well, what I'd like you to do is learn the medications, the basic medications now that are relating to
I don't
all
really know
these
much about
conditions.
medications.
Have you done medication in
Would have done it as a
college?
pharmacology module.
Okay, yes, yeah. So that's something to build on. And as I say, just your basic medications, like a lot of it with your cystic fibrosis, your COPD patients and that, and indeed your pneumonias and TBs, they would be on an awful lot of nebulizers. So, even to start with those, to know those very well, all right? And perhaps by your second interview, to have something written on, say, COPD and with medication that these patients will be on.
Okay.
How would that?
That sounds
Was
good.
that okay?
Yeah.
So the next section here is what learning resources or strategies I should say, do you need to achieve your objectives?
Well, yourself as a preceptor working alongside me, I would learn huge knowledge. You're a huge resource.
Yes.
The CPC,
Yeah,
she
absolutely.
would be a huge resource to me.
Mhm.
The staff nurses
Yeah,
and the clinical nurse manager,
yeah,
the
absolutely.
patients.
very much so. Particularly your cystic fibrosis patients.
Right.
They will know an awful lot about their own illness. You know.
Okay. The multidisciplinary team?
Yes, absolutely. And there's multidisciplinary team meetings here every Wednesday, so we can go to them, you know, because we will be on at least one of the Wednesdays.
That's great.
So we can go to that. That's great. And any other learning resources that you can think of?
The folders.
Absolutely. There's an awful lot of articles in them, and they are relevant and up to date. So they're there as well, exactly. And don't forget, you know, ask me questions anytime. That's not a problem. The next part here is then evidence of achievement. How will I and others know that I have achieved my objectives? How will we know?
You working with me, observing me is going to be one of the main pieces of evidence. Again, feedback from the other staff.
Yes, absolutely.
And questioning and answering.
Yeah, absolutely. And with feedback, you know, you have your formative feedback sheet here. And what I like to do with students, I've done it in the past, is say perhaps on a weekly basis just to document your progress basically on the formative feedback sheet and how you're doing, so that you know how you're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now we'll be working very closely together, and if I'm not here, you know, your co-preceptor is Helen McCarthy, so you'll be linking in with Helen as well. Exactly.
Good. Also, if I write up something for you.
Yes, I think that's good. And perhaps by your second interview, if that's okay. So maybe write up something on, I don't mind which one you pick, for example, if you pick COPD, to have something written on COPD by your second interview and the medication that patients with COPD will be on.
Now, I do have a case study to do as well, so that could tie in nicely for evidence.
Oh, absolutely. And it would be on a patient, for example, with COPD, or
could be.
Yeah. That's absolutely perfect. Then you could tie into that as well. You know, the other thing I'd like you to do, because you are a third-year student, I would like you to start taking maybe one or two patients to do fundamental basic nursing care with those patients. Is that all right?
So we mean the activities of daily living?
Absolutely, with those patients, and then we can build on that, all right? Also, because you're third year, in 2 years you're going to be qualified now, and it will fly, you know? So I would like you to, with these two patients, for example, that you're taking to do your basic fundamental care, is to give me a handover on them, say, at midday, you know, just before lunch, so that we know where we're at, all right? And then we can build on that for your next 2 weeks. We'll see how you're going with your middle interview, and then we can build on that for the next 2 weeks.
And would you be giving me feedback as we go along?
That's no problem. You know, at the back of your learning plan you have a formative feedback sheet, isn't that right?
That's right.
And I like to use these with students. What I have done with other students in the past is given them feedback on a weekly basis. Is that all right? A daily basis I've just found is too much, and we just wouldn't have the time. So again, you need to use your initiative and come to me and remind me to give you feedback.
Yes,
I'd like
the feedback.
Yeah. Is that all right? Now, just one or two other bits and pieces here. We might just finish this here. How will we know that you've achieved your outcomes? You were saying your observation, your written piece. Anything else then?
Question and answering.
Question and answering, exactly. And don't forget to ask questions, because we will be working very closely together. Now, the other thing I just want to remind you about is confidentiality on the ward.
Of course.
You know, don't forget your ward report to put in the confidential bin at the end of the evening. And remember that the curtains are not soundproof.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a mistake that some of us make. The other thing, if you don't mind me saying to you, Mary, just you have your fob watch on, which is perfect. Just your wristwatch.
I forgot, I will take it off.
No problem, from an infection control point of view.
Yeah.
Great. Now, the next thing is really date for your intermediate interview, isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Now, I have the off duty here, I think, and that's about 2 weeks' time. Is that right? Yeah, you're 4 weeks. So I think the two of us are working on that Friday, and I'm working on the Monday as well of your third week. Are you on those days?
I am.
Great. So perhaps on the Friday we could have a chat about your middle interview, and then on the Monday to do it properly. Right. Is that all right? And to have all your forms of evidence for me. and we can sign this then when you have it filled in. Is that okay? Have you
That's
any questions?
Just about the power.
Oh yes, about your power. Now you know you should start filling this in within your first week. You know, not today. I don't mean today's your first day on the ward. You know, but you're familiar with the power at level 3, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Great. So you need to, if you read all that and you know that any staff nurse can sign you off when you put in your forms of evidence. Any staff nurse can sign here, obviously including myself. So when this is done, you put the date in that you've done the evidence for and get somebody to sign that. Exactly.
Okay.
So today, you know, be aware of it, but gradually then we work it up, because I'd like all this filled in before the final interview.
Absolutely.
You know, because it would be too much to do. Now, in fairness, we better get back to work, all right, because we're quite busy at the moment.
Okay. That's okay.
Have you any questions for me, Mary, about that?
No, I think I've set out very clearly what I need to do.
Yes, yeah. And you're happy.
I'm happy
you're
with that.
happy
I'm
with
happy
that,
with
you know.
that.
And don't forget to ask questions, because we will be working very closely
we'll
together.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, we better get back to work, all right, because we're quite busy at the moment.
Okay.
Great.